Hello and welcome back to another video. So in this one I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Warlords of Draenor LFR and how I actually think that it's a really good step in the right direction. Now I know that a lot of people are maybe saying it's too easy, but I think that things have came together in at least initially a pretty good package. Now I was originally going to do a video that was a bit more kind of long form and discussion-y and just, diving deep into a lot of this stuff, but I realized that it's, well, like only the first wing has came out, so I'll just do a quick impressions video now, and perhaps, sometime in a month or two when we get more wings and we really get a big picture of how the LFR landscape in general will be, then I'll do the full-on video. But right now I'm just going to give you my quick little opinions based on doing the first wing. So I think it's a lot better, and I think that the fact that it's easier is it's a good thing, actually. Now, one of the problems with the Siege of Orgrimmar, and I suppose Throne of Thunder LFRs, was that you had a very low completion rate for an actual boss encounter, yet you had a very easy personal difficulty. Now that kind of sucks, because you're not feeling challenged, yet you're dying. You're putting in all of the right steps and doing all your stuff correctly, so you expect to win, yet you don't because of the way LFR was balanced in terms of the boss mechanics, the difficulty, and of course the lack of coordination. Honestly, LFR or at least for some bosses, back in MoP, did require a bit of coordination, and that wouldn't always happen. This just led, I think, to a lot of frustration, which ended up just causing this big feeling of dread when it came to doing the LFR. Another problem with the MoP LFR was the time spent. Each wing could take a long time, especially if the groups are running into problems. I mean, hell, I remember wings taking 2 hours. Damn, it would take us less time to do a full clear of the Siege of Orgrimmar in, in normal difficulty, which is now named Heroic. It would take us less time to do that than it would to do a full LFR run. That's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. I think that if you're doing easy content that's not challenging you, and then you shouldn't expect to just be doing that for 8 hours because, well, then it's just a really annoying slog. Especially with that high failure rate. I mean, come on, spending so many hours with just a large chance of dying that isn't your fault is just not fun. Now, when we combine that with the gearing of the MoP LFR, we run into more issues because the MoP LFR, gear-wise, was designed to allow you to do it on a weekly basis for quite a while and still be able to get gear upgrades. Whereas it seems like in Warlords of Draenor, you get gear a little bit quicker from LFR, at least based on what Blizzard have said, but also, what I think is more important, is there's a lot more variation in gear, and let's be honest, 640 item level gear, or 645, whatever the LFR one is, isn't really that special or unique. I mean, there's crafted gear, there's Apexis gear, there's Garrison Invasion gear, there's just a lot more variation, which I think means the gear is less of a giant concern there. Back in MoP, yeah, the only way to get some of that nice gear was just to chain run those LFRs, and pretty much only that, whereas now, in WoD, you can run your LFR and then do a whole bunch of other things. It's really, really fun. So that's really most of the problems with the old LFR system covered. Essentially, the personal difficulty and completion rate just didn't match up, which caused a lot of frustration, which is further exacerbated by the way the gear dropped, and then also the amount of time that it would take. Now, let's move into Warlords of Draenor. It's still got a pretty easy personal difficulty, but it's also got high completion rates, so far anyway. Now that's good, they both pair up there, and I think that just doesn't make as much frustration. You feel like, you're doing easy content, so you feel like you should win, and then guess what happens? You win. Imagine if you were playing Halo or something, or I don't know, just any game, right? It doesn't have to be Halo, whatever. If you're playing a game in easy difficulty, and for some reason you keep on dying even though you never feel like you personally are being challenged, that just sucks. It's not fun. It's like if you're a really good player in a competitive game, yet you keep on losing because your teammates are crap. That's annoying because you're not being challenged, you're doing well, yet everyone else is letting you down, and it's just crap. Well, now that's been solved. You do easy content, you expect to win, and you win. This also spills over into the sort of time spent thing. Like, the first LFR wing takes, what, 20 minutes? 35 minutes, maybe, in and around that sort of spectrum of time, so it doesn't take a lot of time. It's basically a bit of decently easy content with a pretty high completion rate that doesn't take a lot of time. And in terms of gear, you've got a good chance of getting gear. It's short, sweet, light-hearted, and a chance of maybe getting a quick little reward and some of those stones for your legendary quest. I think that is a far more healthy balance. The old LFR just really instilled this sense of dread in so many people, and that dread, I think, was certainly bad for, say, queue times and various other things. Definitely, though, it's leading to, I think, overall a more fun endgame, rather than LFR being the sort of annoying, big, frustrating be-all, end-all of WoW endgame for many people. It's now just one part in a far larger puzzle that's got a bit more variation to it, and overall, I think that's just a better design. Now, there is another point to make, because a lot of people have said that, well, yeah, this is an easier LFR, but you're not learning anything, right? It's just herp dirt mode, they're streamlining the game for filthy casuals. Ugh, how scary. I actually think there's a lot of validity to saying that. Yeah, there's a good chance you might not learn as much in this new LFR, because you're still getting that kind of easy personal challenge, but since the completion rate's higher, you're probably not forced to think about why you're dying as much. But what I would say is that you never really learned that much in the old LFR. I mean, come on. People didn't learn. It was very clear if you did MoP LFRs for long enough that nobody really learned over time. Sure, completion rates were better 2 months after a raid launched as opposed to when it first came out. But still, the amount of learning that maybe would turn into, say, more people doing flex normal raids wasn't that much. What I think is great about Warlords of Draenor is that, sure, maybe you're not going to learn as much in the LFR, but what is going to happen is you're going to get a reasonable chance of actually getting into raiding via the group finder. Right? Now, the group finder, I think, is one of the best things that's came into this expansion. And first of all, I think they should make it better, right? OQ was a better piece of software, same for Open Raid and all that stuff. They were superior, but having an in-game system that everyone has access to is just so good. And you've got this easy way to get into a group that's paired with Highmaul being, in my opinion, a fantastic introductory raid tier. It teaches you a lot of really important things. So for an example, Kargath teaches you about fixation mechanics in a really important way. If you screw up that fixation, you're dead. End of story. I think that's great. It also forces a little bit of situational awareness because you need to be standing near those pillars. Look at Butcher. Butcher teaches people how to coordinate. Look at Tectus. Tectus just scares the living hell out of you. Look at Brackenspore, right? Brackenspore teaches people to heal a certain thing. It teaches you to move at to this mushroom. And in general, I think these fights are doing a great job of providing an easily accessible way to learn raid mechanics, which is really all you need. You don't need LFR to teach people, in my opinion anyway, how to raid like a pro. All you need is an easy way to get in that'll teach you well, and I think that's what Warlords of Draenor does. Anyway, that's it for this video. I will probably revisit this topic once more of the Tier 17 wings are out, especially some of the Blackrock Foundry ones. But until then, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.